Well, I want to welcome everyone to tonight. We also have quite a few of our board members on this call tonight. They will be introducing themselves later. This meeting tonight is a follow-up to an email that we sent maybe last week. Joel, you should help me here. I know we send you a lot of emails and we're very grateful that you very patiently read them all. There is a lot going on, we understand. So we had a few interesting conversations with some of you here on this call tonight during our head of school coffees, but we just felt we wanted to give you some extra time to ask myself and the facilities committee and the board any questions you may have about our plans for the future and the growth of La Scuola. This is a very exciting time in the life of the school. Some of you have been here just for a few months, and some of you have been here for more than 10 years. So I think there is also a variety of experiences and people in the audience. And so I think we're going to go through all of it. And so if you have seen this before, our apologies for showing you the same thing again. I think the most exciting thing about this is that if you are in the group that has been here a long time, we've been looking for a permanent home for quite some time. Pretty much from the moment I started La Scuola 14 years ago, we did not have a home and we started looking for that home. So these things take time, especially in a place like San Francisco. We were very fortunate to find our beautiful Dogpatch campus that is really our shining example of Reggio Emilia pedagogy and architecture married to each other with the students truly enjoying the full benefit of having an environment that is their third teacher. And the plan was always to find the same type of facility for our K-8 program. And so, a few years later, again, with the help of many community members and board members that allowed us to get here, we now have this fabulous site in the Mission that we need to build together with all of you. This school, and Joel, if you can move the slide. Yeah, so as again, some of you know that we're now in year 3 of our strategic plan. The strategic plan, 5-year plan for La Scuola, started in 2018. It was also an effort of La Scuola faculty, leadership, board, and many parents were part of this. And we really went through what should La Scuola do in the next 5 years. One of the pillars of our strategic plan was permanence at the time. And it seems like such a long time ago, but it actually wasn't. We didn't have a permanent site. And so we were looking for that strategic place where we could all be together. And if you go to the next slide. And as you know, at the moment, we're operating out of 3 campuses, which is far from ideal, but it's the way it is. And I think one of the many things I'm proud of when I think about La Scuola, the people that work at La Scuola and our staff and faculty is really flexibility. I can assure you that it really isn't easy to operate after 3 campuses. And I know also for many of you parents doing some of you 3 drop-offs is definitely not easy. And so we cannot wait to consolidate this a bit more. Our Fell Street campus, for those of you who don't know, was always a temporary site for us. It was a short-term lease that we signed to make sure that would give us enough time to find a permanent home. It's a site that we have come, to really appreciate and love. We always knew it wasn't going to be the Reggio Emilia style building that we needed to fully develop our program. And we also knew that was going to be too small. And so at the moment it hosts our K2 campus and then our Mission campus, which is where we will fully develop our K8 program, is currently hosting 3rd through 8th grade in the old St. Charles school building. And the Dogpatch, like we said, is there to stay. And we have no intention of moving away from there, but we will continue to improve that site. And as you will see later, potentially expand it. So this is a complex, we tried to illustrate that in the email that we sent to you, and there are several phases, and the phases are not necessarily, they're not set in stone because things change and evolve, and we're also, facing our entitlement process now, and we're going through the city of San Francisco. So there are some things are within our control and some things are not. And this is why we put them all here on this slide so that you can see where we're heading. We have the building of St. Charles, where we are now currently running our school, will eventually be fully renovated. And we are, as you know, as a temporary phase, we have the intention of putting some modular classrooms at the Mission campus to make sure that we get together as soon as possible. And then we have the construction of the new building at the Mission campus that really is truly an exciting phase in this project, because that will be really the first, the one and only K-8 Reggio Emilia inspired building in North America, and actually potentially outside of Italy. There is no such place, and we're very, very excited that the La Scuola children will really have the opportunity to be in this space. And then the renovation of the San Carlos Hall building that has a gym and a performing arts theater at the ground floor. So the gym is actually usable now. And eventually upstairs, we will have some middle school classrooms and a rooftop. And then, like I said, the Dogpatch expansion that will probably happen sometime in the next few years, where we add a second floor in our Grandissimi building that will be able to host potentially an additional atelier, digital atelier, classroom, and also a space for our incredible teachers so that they can plan and they can continue to run professional development for other teachers. And I'm not sure if all of you know this, but our really talented faculty also does that. They share the knowledge that they have around the Reggio Emilia approach and IB, and the combination of these two frameworks with other educators. Timeline. I'm not sure if this is my slide or anyone from facilities wants to jump in here. Maybe Lauren, you can jump in here.
Sure.
Lauren is our board co-chair, and he's here tonight together with Laman Akman, our co-chair.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this. As you can imagine, this is a work in progress and it's dynamic. And as a board, we're always looking ahead, planning for the future while taking care of the here and now. So thanks to Jeff, one of our board members and facility committee members, we signed the lease for the 3 properties from the Archdiocese. And that gives us a 60-year runway to make the school the best that it can be and design it from scratch as a true Reggio campus, all in one place. So it's a work in progress. We started with the St. Charles building, which now has classrooms in it. There's a couple of issues which are the variables as we go forward. I know that you all as parents would like to know where my kid's going to be in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. The plan right now is to remove the convent building, which is adjoining St. Charles, apply for the permits to remove that and put mobile classrooms. I'd like to find a better name than mobile classrooms because they can be very beautiful the way Zini will design them. But they will be interim transition classrooms that will allow us to leave FEL and consolidate between Dogpatch and the Mission. The permit, the architectural drawings for the new building, that's sort of the main sort of cornerstone of the plan. We will start this spring sometime. And then this summer demolish the convent and put in the modular classrooms. So when we start construction, in a perfect world, we would start construction in the winter of 2022 for the new building. And then that would be about a 20-month process roughly, so that we could start with classes in the fall of 24. So like I said, it's a work in progress. We're all working on it. I mean, everybody's working hard to make this work. Some of it is political, getting the permits. Some of it is a large part of it's financial, raising the money. We're working on that. And so it will be, it'll be a constant sort of communication and process that will keep you all in touch, informed. Lama, you want to?
Sure. So I just wanted to jump in for a second and just, really thank our board for the amazing commitment that they have continued to show from securing the lease, as Loring was saying, to really just kind of embarking on this amazing and wonderful project, which is extremely ambitious, but it's really all about, what La Scuola is all about, right? I mean, it's just, these people are working constantly and around the clock to figure out everything from facilities to financing to fundraising to essentially how do we make our dream come to reality. So I just wanted to thank all of them, and many of them are here tonight. So thank you all for your amazing support and continued support. I also wanted to just touch on, we kind of talked about, over time, what is the project and the different phases, and why do we, do this phase versus that phase. And, I just wanted to kind of give you some insight into some of the thinking and the why behind this plan that Loring just outlined. So, if you think about the school, right? I mean, today we are on 3 campuses, and as Valentina said, this is really not ideal, right? So we see the Mission Campus as the place that really is for the K-8 is our final home, and we would love to get there all together as soon as possible, right? This is for parents, for the kids, for the teachers, everybody will be in a much better place if we all consolidate on that campus as soon as possible. So that's been kind of a piece that's been really driving some of that thinking, and how do we consolidate everybody on the same campus in the fastest way possible, in the most affordable way that we can make that happen. So if you look at, the new campus, which is, the new building, St. Charles, which is where we are today, and then San Carlos, really in that analysis, it became obvious that if we're able to build the new building and have St. Charles, then between those two, we can house everyone on those two, in those 2 buildings, right? And that will bring K-8 in the soonest way, in the most affordable way possible. So that's why it makes sense to actually start with the new building. The other aspect of it, which is what really Vale was talking about, is this is an iconic building, right? It is really kind of the best example of what Reggio looks like, and how can the environment really play such a major role in the learning experience. It will be the thing that would make the most impact for the learning experience of the kids and the community as a whole, and between the ateliers and the piazzas and just like the impact on that learning experience is huge. So it's the thing that will give us the most value in the shortest time possible. And it's also, if you think about it from a fundraising perspective, it is really much more compelling to go fundraise for this, right, than to say, well, can we maybe renovate San Carlos and get, some minor improvements there, and spend still, tons of money to do that in the short term, and not get us to a place where we can consolidate everybody, versus look at how compelling, this vision is and this campus is, and fundraise for that. And then finally, I would say, at the end of the day, also, being able to actually get enrollment that we need to support financially this, right? It's again, much more compelling and much easier to get the enrollment up when you actually have something that is that special and that iconic. So that's kind of what guided some of our thinking in terms of, if you look at the previous slide and kind of the numbers associated with those buildings, despite the fact that this is higher from a price perspective, it's actually the thing that would get us all together on that campus in the most affordable way. Because even if we were to do San Carlos, for example, we wouldn't be able to consolidate everybody between San Charles and San Carlos. So we'll still need to do something to get everyone there. So with that, Eric, do you wanna?
Yeah, actually, I think this is me, then Eric is gonna join, or So this is actually what the first phase would be, the removal of the convent, like Lauren was saying. So this is just a rendering from our friends at ZPZ Partners in Italy. So Michele Zini has been mentioned in this presentation already a few times, and again, I want to be conscious of the fact that not everyone has been here a long time, and you know, actually, I'm thinking of you, Robert. I see you in the audience. I mean, some people don't know who Michele Zini is. So Michele has been working with us for years now, and he has designed all of the new schools in Reggio Emilia, Italy, and his father designed the original school that Loris Malaguzzi opened, the Diana School in Reggio Emilia, the very first. And his mother was actually the first atelierista there ever was. And so Vera Vecchi was the woman that created this idea, this concept of the atelier. And so again, in this middle phase where we're going to have modular classrooms so that we can actually have all of the students in the St. Charles building and in the modular classrooms here at the St. Charles site. This is an example of like what we have done in the past. You may not know, but in the Grandissimi building, we started our K-8 in 2 modular classrooms. My son Matteo, who graduated last year, was in one of those. And so actually was Lama's son, Keenan. They have very fond memories of these mobile classrooms, which, you know, sometimes makes us both wonder, we're building this we are going to be building this fabulous building for them. They were actually perfectly happy in the modular classroom. But because even that modular classroom was really transformed with the help of Michele in a really welcoming, Reggio-inspired environment inside with the colors and the furniture. And it really did not look like what some of you may remember from your school days, the place where, you know, when you were in modular classrooms. This is not going to look the same. If you want to go on, Joel. And this is actually the floor plan of what it's going to look like. And Eric, stop me when it's your turn to jump in. I've
got a ways to go. Keep going.
Okay. So the construction of the new building, you can see this is really the floor plan to just show you, just give you an idea of what this is going to look like when the building is completed. And so again, like Lama was describing, this is just like one floor. We have done this presentation before, and we would be very happy to share more renderings with you. But this is what it will look like. As you can see, the St. Charles building currently has 2 usable floors and a basement. Eventually the building will be lifted up, so we will have 3 full floors, and the new building will be the same height. So you can move on to the next. And again, this is a street view. We're going to go through this quickly because we really want to have time for your questions here. This is the beautiful yard from behind. So this idea of like different areas also in the yard, just like you have inside the preschool. And some interior spaces that will be welcoming, inviting, that will really foster a different kind of learning, just like Lama was saying, the light. This was going to be actually our lunch area, and there will hopefully be a food atelier. So the atelier, the concept of the atelier is not just art, it's art and music and technology, and again, food. There is one especially beautiful atelier in Reggio Emilia called the Ray of Light that was designed in collaboration with the Department of Physics of the University of Modena. Which is actually explaining physics, anything from quantum mechanics to you know, and more through experiences designed for the students. It's an incredible place. You know, keep going, Joel. And this is actually moving on to the San Carlos building. I mean, this is kind of a, this is not going to be as exciting and innovative, but it's still going to be a very important space because we have you know, we're going to have some beautiful classrooms upstairs. It's a great, you know, great space. And then we're also going to renovate. So thank you, Joel. You can see what they will be looking like. And then we're also going to renovate the current gym that at the moment is a usable space. And it can be used as a gymnasium and a performing arts space, which is quite unique. I mean, we're very fortunate to have this space. Very few schools have that in the city. Okay, so this is you, Eric, and I also want to join Lama in thanking all of, you know, the people you saw earlier, and really this is an incredible community effort. And please, parents, I mean, if you think you can contribute and help and support, please reach out to us, because this incredible group of fellow parents and also many people that are not parents at La Scuola are really making this happen for all of us.
So this slide is a hint at, it shows the three buildings, from the main, the Mission Campus, the new main building, the San Carlos building, and the St. Charles building. And we felt in the spirit of transparency to share with you at least our working budgets for those, and where we are looking to fundraise and borrow money. So the combination of how these will be paid for is fundraising and loans. And I think when I did the update for the school, I joked, it said, you know, if we won lottery tonight, we would start construction tomorrow morning mentality. But the schedule that was previously mentioned by Loring, that really is contingent upon getting us the donations and the loans. So this is that schedule is a perfect world scenario schedule. The new main building is $28 million. The San Carlos building is $18 million. Probably half that $18 million, if anybody has any connections with the City of San Francisco Preservation and Planning, we would love to talk to you, because probably half of that is because they think that building is historic. They're making us shore it up and be very delicate with it, which is driving a significant part of the cost for gutting a building and starting over again. So it should cost about half that. And then the St. Charles building, there's the significant costs around that are lifting it, building a new foundation, and creating a full basement level, full floor that is open to the yard. So that's $12 million. So just as a headline for you to see these numbers.
So if anyone from facilities or the board wants to join in and say something, please do. If not, we're going to open it up to questions. And again, this is just a full rundown of the plans for the future. And if you also, I know some of you had more immediate questions about the next couple of years, so please jump in. And Joel, are we going to have questions in the chat, or should people just ask questions? I mean, you can put your question in the chat. You can send them privately if you don't want it to be public, or you can just ask. Students are allowed to ask questions too.
Hi, I had a basic question.
Ciao, John.
Ciao. It's so good to see everyone. Hello.
Hi.
Now you should turn your camera on. Thank you, John.
Winter 2022 on one of those slides, just my own understanding. Does that mean January 2022 or December 2022?
I think Greg wants to answer that question. I see Greg laughing.
Yeah, I mean, my name is Greg Daniels. I co-chair the facilities committee. There is the way to think about this is for us to start in 2022, everything would have to go right, meaning we would have to be very, very successful very, very quickly with fundraising. So I would not necessarily hold us to that date unless, like I said, things go exceedingly well. It could be further out.
Yeah. I mean, that was the optimistic scenario. And I think as we started, we're pushing hard with everything we can. But so that was the optimistic view. It could be delayed by 6 months or a year or 18 months. We'll just see how it goes. But you know, I think from the planning point of view, I think we can hold to that if we had the capital. So really, it's going to be spending what we can to advance the permitting and planning, while not trying to get too far ahead of ourselves until we have the capital to on the equity side, and roughly thinking it's going to be about 50-50 debt equity for these buildings, just in general. So if it's a $28 million building, we're probably going to borrow 14 million, and we'll have raised 14 million. And that's hard and soft costs, by the way, just in general.
Thank you, Lauren. I think actually Shannon did answer your question, what Lauren just said. Yes, so 50% down is a requirement. Yes, yeah. Shannon asked you answered Shannon's question. I don't know if he was.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, my video isn't working.
He was reading your mind somehow. Okay, so is there any what modulars will look like on the inside? No, there isn't, because it's pretty a very plain space on the inside, and so like the last we can look back and see if we can find photos from the ones we had. So pretty much the inside is the easy part, because we can easily change it with color, paint, the furniture that we would have in a regular classroom. So the Reggio Emilia inspired furniture that we have, nice flooring and good light. So we'll definitely look back, but that's not, it was not the biggest challenge, because again, on the inside, you can customize it to your own needs. And then there's another question on the sustainability aspiration for the project. Is there a plan? So Eric, maybe that's more of you. Definitely the local architects we are working with, Faulong, used to be Faulong, are now part of Perkins Wills, are also the same architects that designed the French school down the road. And they definitely have an expertise in sustainability. And obviously with the new building, we have a lot more wiggle room. With St. Charles is actually a historic landmark, not San Carlos, St. Charles, for the state of California. So that was built originally in 1887. So there is a lot less that can be done with that. We really cannot change that much. But definitely for the new building. So the time frame for moving the classes currently in Fell Street to the modular classroom. Okay, so well, again, that all depends on this the process we're going through now. So the process of like going to the planning department, also subletting the Fell Street campus, and can we do that in time? Can we get enough modular classrooms on site on time? I think there are pros and cons in both situations, and I know definitely that there are many families that have asked us to please move to meet the mission as soon as possible, to avoid double drop-off, to make sure that the students are all together. But it will be, hopefully we'll be able to tell you soon. We're really hopeful that, by the end of March, we will know for sure. And it's gonna either be K1 FL and second grade and up in the mission, or potentially everyone could be in the mission if we can move quickly enough. What else? Second floor of the preschool. That depends on funding. I mean, we would love to get that done as soon as possible, for sure. So there's a question on construction of the new building. Maybe I'll let Eric and actually, I think Joel, maybe is there any way you can share this with everyone so that we can see the questions? So will construction of the new building be disruptive to kids that are going to school in modular classrooms? Eric and Lauren, you're more of construction experts than I am. And
let me answer this, because I had a discussion with.
I didn't see you, Jeff.
Yeah, with Hassan about that. Yeah, I had that same question for our owner's representative, who is the person that represents the school, dealing with our contractor, and he said since it's going to be because of the construction, most of the noisy work, if we start in the summer, can get done relatively quickly. And then once the frame's on the building and the shell's on the building, the internal work shouldn't be noisy enough to disrupt classes. So we think that, because it'll be a steel frame building and it'll be the exterior shell should go on relatively quickly. He doesn't think it'll be a problem.
I think that we experienced that in Dogpatch with the new building that went up next door. I don't think it was a problem there, was it, Vali?
Fede?
Yes. Hi, everyone.
Yes,
Yeah,
I did.
there was no, we had actually two buildings that grow around us. Yes, there was no problem at all.
I think the kids are actually going to love it.
There
Watching
was
it
a
grow.
lot of actually, yes, observation, and
Yeah.
they bring the construction inside the classroom.
Yeah.
We had a major project about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they also toured the site. It's true, actually, Fede.
Right.
There's a real opportunity for actually them seeing their future school being built right in front of their very eyes. While we wait for more questions, does anybody else in the facilities committee or Embrace committee wants to add anything to this, or just share their thoughts? This is it's going to be really an incredible space, like Lama said, for our students.
I'll just jump in with one thing about the construction. I mean, I think one of the things that is a fantastic opportunity here is to actually engage the voice of the children in the design, right? I mean, like Michele met with the kids and they all, you know, kind of engaged in ideas of what, you know, what is that, what do they need out of that learning space? And so I think there are so many interesting opportunities throughout the construction of that project that we can actually engage the children in a meaningful way across the different ages. And I think that that's just a wonderful thing for them to actually have.
Yeah.
And I would add that that goes for all phases, even the mobile classrooms that we're talking about. As we are talking about installing those on the yard, we're looking at opportunities to have maybe vines and having the environmental classroom take over some of the pots that would grow over those, and using maybe the facades of them as art space for murals. I mean, letting the kids kind of own those buildings as just ideas, and so working with, so it's at all phases we'll be doing this.
So there's a very good question about moving kids to the new school, and they potentially, if there is a reason why, is the younger kids are going to go to FEL, and then they will have to transition twice. So if K1 have to move to FEL, then they will have that transitioning twice, and also parents have to plan for new location. So the thing is that the kinder is already there. So, you know, the first graders would stay at FEL Street, so they would spend the second year at FEL, and then second grade would move over to the Mission, so they would do that transition. So I think I can definitely, it's a very good question. I'll bring it to the leadership team for reflection. But the idea is definitely initially we thought we would want to keep kinder together. There was actually also a good suggestion from Federica of potentially having a K1 FL and maybe a K1 in the Mission. So that's a really good question. Thank you. I'll raise it with the team. Ooh, Colette has a great question. Will there be an indoor garden? Actually, that's a very interesting question, because in Reggio they have a lot of indoor gardens, and you know, Colette, you should know that in Reggio Emilia it rains a lot and it snows in the winter, so the indoor garden is very critical there. So I think we're very lucky in California to have all this beautiful space, but it's actually a very interesting question that I will ask our architect in Italy. There was also actually like a question that came around, you know, but I think we have explained about the funding. So I just wanted to reiterate that your tuition does not fund the construction of the new building. That comes from a combination of fundraising and financing. which is, you know, is something that we eventually we're all working towards that, and we welcome any help or any suggestion that you might have around that or expertise. Well, these meetings are certainly a lot more fun in person. Maybe after we've all had a glass of wine and we're all a lot more talkative.
I'm Grazia Bennett, and I'm also a part of the board. And I just want to tell you, I've been a parent, and I know you have some concern as a parent, but try to close your eyes and think about what is going to be this beautiful campus in the middle of one of the most vibrant neighborhoods of the city. And there is not going to be any other equally beautiful campus in the entire San Francisco. So allow yourself to close your eyes and imagine what is going to be. And this new campus is going to perfectly be the manifestation of what is the mantra of the school: nothing without joy. And it's going to be all about joy.
Thank you, Grazia.
Yes, what would we do without you, Grazia? And Grazia is one of the wonderful board members at the school who does not have a child at the school, and still she has been on the board for almost 6 years and has worked in you know, pretty much every committee that we have, including being at all the grandparents, special friends events that we have ever run at La Scuola. So thank you so much for articulating it so well.
We just had a question come in that's asking, will there be play structures or places for students to get out their energy during recess during the construction?
So there isn't a play structure plan for now. And I think it's also because whatever goes in there now that's semi-permanent would have to be taken down. There's definitely a lot, there is also like a lovely park with a play structure down the road. And I mean, in the past, actually at Fell Street, some of you may not know, but when Fell Street was fully, you know, full of like our K6 at the time campus, Doug Lowney had to take the middle schoolers out to the Hayes Valley playground every day because the yard was definitely too small for them and they needed their own space. And so not at the moment, but definitely there will be, it's a beautiful yard. The Mission yard is really fantastic and there's plenty of space for them to run. There's another question around more renderings of the campus, not just the buildings. So does that mean, you mean the yard or the renderings of the inside or of the yard?
Yeah, I think you just concentrated on the buildings a lot in this presentation, and I haven't seen the overall campus when we described it as super beautiful. I don't know if you guys have a quick rendering of the overall campus from a ground level.
Can you get that, Joel, from the renderings?
While we're talking, it's not, you know, urgent.
Yeah. You can stop your screen sharing. So yeah, we'll find a few. So we have a full and very long presentation that we're very happy to share again. So if we can't find it right now, we'll send it out.
Okay, thank you.
No, thank you for asking. Okay.
Yeah, at some point, I think we should build a model. Once we're a little further down the road, we have a little bit of money to do it, to actually build a model of the whole campus. I think that'd be a really good tool.
Yeah, we get the students to do that.
Yeah, it's useful.
Actually, that is such a cool project.
Yeah, it'd be a great project.
It should be our 8th grade project.
It's true, actually, the middle years project. Where is Doug? Are you ready for that challenge? Okay, so you're all unusually quiet tonight. I know we've all been on Zoom way too long. We will host another event like this in person, I promise, as soon as we all have a vaccine and are able to gather again. And thank you so much for making the time tonight. Thank you for the questions and suggestions, and keep them coming. We really are building this really beautiful space for the students of La Scuola, and remember the child is always at the center in a Reggio Emilia school, and especially at La Scuola. So we're super excited about the future. And thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Bob.